Of course, he plays the main character, which is himself, an aging spy called Osama Barakzai, who has just written a book with the spymaster of the enemy country, called Randhir Singh. His own intelligence agency summons him to an interrogation. The line of inquiry is both bureaucratic and stodgy, so Barakzai sets about finding out why he's really in the doghouse. Of course, Barakzai is smart as hell, with a sense of humor to boot. He tears into the luxurious living his own defense establishment takes for granted, turns the knife into their imagined birthright that they must and will rule Pakistan, especially since elected politicians are not just corrupted but co-opted as well by the establishment, and, irony of ironies, turns to a Sharia court for redemption. In this book, Bin Laden has been turned into a woman, called Usama bint Laden, who lives in a town called Jacobabad and whose cover is blown by a Pakistani whistleblower who walks into the US Embassy and tells all, to show that the Pakistani establishment helped the US find the world's most wanted terrorist. So the ISI wants to know, how could Barakzai have known? And since he collaborated with a foreign country to pass on state secrets in the guise of a book, surely he is guilty. It's not clear whether this is what has come to pass in real life, although the references to other real-life characters stand up. Gulrez Shahrukh or Pervez Musharraf didn't tell Naveen Sheikh or Nawaz Sharif everything when he launched the Kargil or Panjal conflict. Former ISI and then Army Chief Ashfaq Kayani is Raja Rasalu, a rare, thinking general who is nevertheless vulnerable to temptation. Well-known American journalist Seymour Hersh is Simon Hersh, who confirms Barakzai's fears that his military interrogation is because of Osama and not India, while Indian PMIK Gujral, who sought to change the character of India-Pakistan relations since partition, is K.I. Gujar. Certainly, as spy chief, Durrani did everything in his capacity to undermine the will of the people. Anything he writes, therefore, will always be measured against that yardstick, and he may never measure up. But this book may also be seen as Durrani's own mea culpa, a sort of repentance that things came to pass as they did, and now that he's seen the bigger picture, he wished it hadn't. It is in this vortex of different demands that the Durrani book must be seen, a nugget that forces one to look within, painful warts and all. At the end of the day, it was easy for Barack Obama to write. Probably that's why the book is a work of fiction. Naming names would have been too unsafe, including for himself. This veneer works.